Hi, I'm Emma. One of my clients calls me the Mixed Master of Accounting, and now QuickBooks wants to make a commercial about it. Oh, hi, small business client called Amara.
Can you import my tax and BAS data?
I can.
On any platform?
Yes, any platform with QuickBooks. Maybe I am a bit of a mixed master.
So good morning, everyone. Welcome to this month's Pro Power Hour. My name is Megan Wood. I work in the Advisor Marketing team and I'm your host for today's session. It's great to have you join us today. But before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and to pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Now, in today's Pro Power Hour, it's all about what's new. So we're going to have a look at some of the enhancements that have been added to the QuickBooks suite. So that will cover QuickBooks Online, including QuickBooks Payroll powered by Employment Hero, QuickBooks Online Accountant, and QuickBooks Tax powered by LodgeiT. Now, we run these update sessions every quarter, and they're a great way to check out what's new in the suite, how it works, and how it might benefit your practice. Now, if you're not familiar with the QuickBooks suite, let me give you a quick overview. It's likely everyone on the call today is aware of Intuit's flagship product, QuickBooks Online, given that it's used by over 300,000 accountants and bookkeepers and more than 5.8 million small businesses around the world. Importantly, QBO includes a number of exclusive features that only accountants and bookkeepers can access to help you power through your day. Then we have QuickBooks Online Accountant, or QBOA, which helps you to manage your practice as well as your clients. Using QBOA, you can manage your clients, you can stay on top of your workload, you can track your time and invoice your clients. And on the compliance front, QuickBooks Tax powered by LodgeiT is a powerful online tool to help you manage your tax and BAS preparation and lodgement needs. One of the key features that makes QuickBooks Tax unique is the ability to import data from various accounting systems, not just QuickBooks Online. So it's a tool that is great for using with all of your small business clients. If you haven't had a look yet, it's time you did, especially considering this time of the year, especially as it's provided as a benefit of the QuickBooks Pro Advisor program. Okay, so moving along. Before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. Now, we've got about 400 people on today's event, so we've had to put you all on mute, but we have a Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. So if you do have a question, please submit it through Slido and we'll aim to answer as many questions as we can. We do have a jam-packed day, so we'll see how we go. Today's event is being recorded, so we'll be providing everyone who has registered for this event with a copy via email. So watch out for an email in your inbox that we will get out to you later today, and you'll be able to review any of the content or be able to share it with any of your team members. Now, if you are having any technical difficulties with not being able to see or hear the presentation, I know I struggle making this announcement because if you can't see me or hear me, I don't know what you'll do next. But if you do have troubles, we suggest restarting your device, refreshing your browser, or trying a different device. Again, you will be receiving a recording of the session. So while it's not as good as the live thing, you're not going to miss out on any content. You can also navigate to the troubleshooting guide located at the bottom of the page, which also has a link to an alternate video browser should you need that. When it gets to demo time, to see the screen better, we recommend that you click on the arrow to maximize the screen. But please note that sometimes it takes a little moment to render, to clear up. So if it is a little bit blurry, just leave it for a moment and it should clear that up. So that's our housekeeping. So let's have a look at our presenters today. We've got a bit of a lineup. So today you're going to be hearing from Jack Pillen. Jack is the product marketing manager in the small business marketing team. He's been with Intuit for 4 years and he'll be taking you through some of the key updates in QuickBooks Online. Simon Hales. Now, Simon is joining us from the ecosystem marketing team. and he'll be taking you through a couple of important developments in QuickBooks Payroll, powered by Employment Hero. And by the way, Simon had a birthday this week. Then I'll pop back up and I'll take you through a few enhancements made in QuickBooks Online Accountant. And to bring it home is Andrew Noble. Andrew has been in the public practice accounting space for over 20 years, but his real passion is finding more efficient ways to handle workflows in an accounting firm. And as a result, Andrew just went out and built himself LodgeiT, which is a solution that powers QuickBooks Tax. He'll be covering some exciting new features as well as important updates for this year's returns. So with that, I am now going to hand you over to Jack. So over to you, Jack.
Fantastic. Thank you kindly, Megan. My name's Jack Pillen. I'm Product Marketing Manager at Intuit Australia, and it is my absolute pleasure to join you wonderful people today to show you some of the latest updates in QuickBooks Online. Now, first up is something I shared a sneak peek of and a bit of a demo in the March Pro Power Hour, the new invoice and quotes experience. Now, as a reminder, the new invoices and quotes is a modern and flexible and intuitive experience being rolled out to QuickBooks Online users on web and mobile. It will enable your clients to customize their invoices and quotes on the spot with no templates or settings changes required, which I know is a much demanded capability. Get quotes approved faster with self-serve approvals from customers and a quote activity feed. I love the ability to send a quote to a customer and the customer to be able to approve on their end without having to contact your client, and also to manage it all on the go. So we've included the ability to start an invoice on web and complete on mobile, or vice versa, with automatic saving of drafts on mobile. Now, due to the size of this update and the number of capabilities involved, we're employing a slow and staged rollout. This will allow us to test the basic framework first, and then add capabilities piece by piece until we exceed functional parity with the classic invoice platform. And here is the launch schedule. So right now, we're rolling out the basic framework to users with simple invoicing requirements. These are the users who aren't currently using tags. They're not registered for GST. They're the users whose needs are met by the current capabilities of the experience. In the next few weeks, we'll launch additional workflows, including custom fields, recurring invoices, multi-templates, classes, tags, departments, and locations. And as we do, we'll increase availability to more users. Following that, we'll launch GST tracking and then PayPal payments. And around this point, we'll meet the needs of over 3/4 of our invoicing customers. And then we'll make this new experience the default invoice and quote experience for new customers as well. It's worth mentioning that if your client has the new experience and they prefer the old experience, they can switch back at any time by clicking the old layout button in the top right of the invoice creation screen. You can switch back and forth and your data will be pulled across. Okay, next, this is fantastic news for those banking with American Express. So we recently launched a new API-based direct feed connection for Amex customers on QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Self-Employed. This allows for a secure and accurate and reliable direct feed connection to be established in minutes with no forms and no delays. No CAF is music to my, and I'm sure many listeners' ears. Historical transactions up to 2 years in the past can be imported at connection, and new transactions sync essentially real time. There's a second or two delay, but yeah, my legal team says I can't say real time, but essentially. So this new feed is now the default experience for new connections. So everyone starting and setting up a new Amex feed will get this experience. Those with existing connections through the standard feed, they've all been sent guidance on how to upgrade. All right, we've also recently updated our customer support journey, making it easier for new and existing users to connect with QuickBooks customer support. I've recorded a really quick video, so let's take a look.
If your clients need QuickBooks support, they can access it in product by clicking on the Help button, or through the website by clicking Learn and Support and Contact Us, and using our new customer support journey. Here they can select what type of user they are, whether they're existing or not yet a customer, and then see all of the support options available to them at that time.
Okay, so on to the GST Centre. So our engineers have been hard at work squashing bugs in the GST Centre, recently addressing 25 quality of life issues, including readability of tax rates, adding a date picker to the prepare BAS flow, adding error messages when an ABN is incorrectly entered in the connect to ATO flow, as well as general usability and design consistency and more. Right, and here's another sneak peek at a cool new upcoming capability. So during the setup flow in QuickBooks Online, we ask users what tasks they want to complete in QuickBooks. Soon, we're going to build on that experience and introduce in-product guided onboarding experiences or mini jobs at the end of the setup flow to help new customers achieve those tasks. We aim to launch 2 mini jobs, invoice customization and bank connect with expense management in July, with more to follow. So I've got a mock-up coming up of the invoice customization experience, which we'll jump into. We're going to be looking as a new QuickBooks user has just completed the Get to Know Me flow in QuickBooks. They've indicated that they want to send invoices and manage expenses. And we will jump on to the video. In production, the Bank Connect mini job will follow after that, giving your clients a fantastic head start on their QuickBooks journey. And finally, another upcoming release. This one to launch for new and existing users in July, an update to the Get Things Done dashboard in QuickBooks Online, providing one-click access to actions and insights to help users get more done faster. So I've got a quick little video. Let's take a look.
Here we have an early build of the new Get Things Done dashboard in QuickBooks Online. The main updates are Tasks, which surfaces business insights and gives access to upcoming and outstanding activities, as well as Quick Actions, which enables one-click access to a user's most common jobs. This can also be customized based on what's most important to the user. Not shown here, but a new setup checklist will soon replace the setup guide. This is where new users can review and complete the guided mini jobs and other onboarding requirements.
So lots of great updates, especially for new QuickBooks users to get them up and running nice and fast. And now I'll pass over to Simon Hales to share an update on QuickBooks Payroll.
Thanks, Jack, and good morning, everybody. Great to be here today. I'm Simon Hales. I'm the payroll marketing lead in our ecosystem marketing team here at QuickBooks. Just a brief update from me today. I want to talk about QuickBooks Payroll powered by Employment Hero and some upcoming improvements to the employee self-serve experience. So for those that aren't aware, I'll assume that most of us are, but for those that have worked with Employment Hero products previously, directly, you might have started to hear about a product called Swag. I wanted to provide a brief update here on what Swag is, what our rollout plans are here, and what you and your clients can expect. So by way of background, again, for those that aren't across it, Employment Hero deliver the payroll services for QuickBooks Online payroll customers. Prior to 2021, KeyPay used to provide these directly. Employment Hero acquired KeyPay, and now they're the provider of those platforms. The employee self-service solution within KeyPay is called WorkZone. So that's the service that employees can use to track their time, view their pay slips, and all of those critical pay-related events. Over the last year, Employment Hero have been working to refresh and launch a brand new employee self-service experience, and that's called Swag. Swag's a brand new mobile app that helps employees manage work tasks on the go, like pay, leave, timesheets. And also through Swag, employers can offer their teams competitive offers, benefits, etc. So Employment Hero are actually broadening out this suite far beyond just pay and work. So today I just wanted to provide an update on what our plans are here to keep our key customers informed and what our kind of rollout plans are. So let's dig in. So again, following the acquisition, Employment Hero have launched a brand new employee self-service app that's called Swag. We will be launching this for our customers from August. So it's a bit early, but I thought this is a great opportunity to come and speak to a huge community that we have on the call today. That's our kind of intention. It's a very busy time of year to be rolling out new products right now, so we'll be waiting through the August period. So WorkZone features, for those users today that use WorkZone, we have hundreds of thousands of actual employees that use WorkZone. All of those familiar features, whether it be pay, leave, timesheet management, all of those will come across into a section in Swag called Work. The login experience is going to be a seamless one, carrying those same credentials over from WorkZone to be able to be used to log into Swag. So the initial question that many people would have is, what do my employees need to do? Are they going to have to sign up fresh? The great news is that those WorkZone credentials will flow straight across. WorkZone will be working in parallel for a period at launch. So we're not going to see a direct launch of Swag and then WorkZone stops working. They will both work concurrently, and we will be managing through what that transition looks like. So while it's early days, there won't be any immediate action needed by your clients, except to say that Swag will have a vastly improved user experience, and all those familiar features of WorkZone will carry over. From a decommissioning point of view of WorkZone, Employment Hero are working through this now and what that looks like, and really making sure that they make that experience seamless for end users. And we obviously will flow through our communication to you as we learn more about what that looks like. So from a next steps point of view, as I said, it'll be a very brief update today. Next steps are we will send some updates directly in August when we have confirmation of dates, what that rollout looks like, when it will be available. We'll make sure all our clients and customers are armed with plenty of resources, frequently asked questions, and even this session today is a great opportunity to float some questions up on what Swag means, and if you have anything specific that I can then go and kind of come back after following that up with Employment Hero. And I guess also in parallel, this is a really big piece for Employment Hero. They've been working on this for more than a year, and this is an area that they're going to be investing really heavily in. So we're super excited to be bringing this to you and your clients and seeing what Swag can become. As I said, it'll be far more than just the WorkZone type offerings, whilst that at the moment is the most important, I guess, piece that we want to make sure our customers can pass through to their clients. Just a brief kind of look at kind of the user interface and what you can expect. So it'll be super refreshed UI. The design is really fantastic. And again, all those really familiar features will be in Swag that the WorkZone users are familiar with. So whether it be pay slips or rostering, clock in and clock out, leave management, timesheets, etc., all of those things will flow through. So that's it, short and sweet. Some exciting stuff coming through. Looking forward to sending through some more information and communicating directly with our customers around the August timeframe. And with that, I'll pass back to Megan.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Simon. Okay, so we're now going to have a look at a few enhancements that we've made to tools that support your practice. So in this section, we'll check out some exclusive accountant and bookkeeper functionality to help you with your accounting and tax workflows. So the first one relates to prep for taxes. So for those of you that might not have had an opportunity to play with prep for taxes just yet, this area is designed to support your accounts prep and lodgement process. So this enhancement relates to being able to copy your year-end tasks from one client to another. So This is a great time saver. So it means that you don't have to rekey your year-end tasks for each client. Now, be assured, I'm working on the development team to add practice templates to this area so that you can set up year-end tasks for different entity types, like companies and trusts, etc. However, for now, this is a step in the right direction. So let's have a look at what it looks like. So here we are in QuickBooks Online Accountant for my Wood Accounting and Bookkeeping business, and we're going to have a look under this Prep for Taxes column. So we're going to access one of our clients' details by selecting the Review Data option in that column, and that automatically takes us into QuickBooks Online for this particular client and into the Prep for Taxes area. So the Prep for Taxes area is all about preparing a set of accounts and lodging a return. Importantly, this particular area is an accountant's only view area, so your clients won't be able to see this information within their QuickBooks Online file. So the Prep for Taxes area is sort of made up of 4 sections. So the first is year-end tasks. So this is where we outline all the steps that you want your team to follow to prepare a set of accounts and lodge a tax return. The documents area is where you store your source documents. So any checklists, any substantiation documents like your bank statements, for example. The review and adjust area, this is where you get to see this year's information compared to last year's information, then any changes in those numbers that may highlight anything that may need to be looked at a little more closely. And under each of these line items, you've got the ability to make adjustments, add notes, as well as add and manage any attachments. And then if we go into the grouping and statements area, this is where you get to fundamentally group or modify the reports that you may want to simplify them for your client. So a great area to come in, and again, if they've got a complex set of accounts, this is where you can group them and make them a little bit simpler. Now, the feature I wanted to show you is under the year-end tasks. These are all the tasks by default that have come through for this particular client. I've got the option to add additional items to this particular list. I can edit any of these items. I can delete these items as well. I can even move these items around. But a new feature that we've added is the ability to copy these items from another client. So if you've got a client, in this case we're going to select my Laser Perfect Landscaping, I'm going to copy all of their steps from their file onto this one. So we will say that yes, we do want to copy those over, and then you can see they're very similar, but there's additional tasks that are now available for this particular client. So a great way to copy year-end tasks from one client to another. Beautiful. I just said beautiful to myself. That's a bit strange. But a great little piece of functionality there. And certainly as we head into a new financial year, a great opportunity to trial the Prep for Taxes area, again, to streamline and to have that consistency and that transparency around preparing a set of accounts and lodging a return. Next up, I wanted to talk to you about the ability to create your own management report pack. So what this means is that you can create a report pack made up of all of the QuickBooks reports that you want. So you can arrange them in the way that you want. You can export the reports to Excel or Word, should you need that. You can email them, so whether that's to the client or to another team member. You can even schedule to have these report packs automatically emailed out to your clients if you like. So let's jump in and see what the new Create Management Report feature looks like in action. So here we are in my QuickBooks Online client, Unicorn Wine Bar and Cafe. And what I'm going to do is pop into the reports area so we can have a look at this new feature. So over to the right here, we can see this Create Management Report button. And this lets us create a report pack, fundamentally from scratch. So I'm going to give this report pack a name. So this will be my FY23 Tax Planning Report Pack. Oops. Try that again. And over to the right here, we get to select the appropriate period. So I'm going to say this current year, but you can select a different period if required. So for our covering page, we've now got the option to start building this. So my report title will be my FY23 report pack. You'll see that the cover page is being built. This is for tax planning purposes. The report period will be to the 31st of March. For example, prepared by Wood Accounting. Prepared date, I'll pop that was the 5th of June. And I'll just put a little disclaimer here. Great, so from there, if I jump into the reports area, this is where we can start building our report pack. So I might pop in here some accounts payable. I will then pop in a balance sheet. I can then pop in profit and loss of some description. So you can see you simply build the report pack to what you need included. And if we preview that, we can see what that's starting to look like. So that's great. We might also go, actually, I think I might move this to the bottom of the report, and I'll put my profit and loss up there. We're happy with that. We can now save and close that particular report, and it's now included under our management report area, and we can then preview it, we can edit it, send it out to the client or to a team member, export to PDF, to a Word doc, duplicate it or delete it. So definitely worth having a play to create the reports that you want to collate and use for your practice, but also to use with your clients. So how good was my speaker picking up all of my clunking of my typing there? Sorry about that. I'll make sure that that's a little bit reduced next time. Okay, so last but not least, we have the new customizable left-hand menu in QuickBooks Online Accountant. Now, this follows on from the work that we did last year, updating the left-hand navigation for our 6 million QuickBooks Online users. And you can now customize your QuickBooks Online Accountant menu to suit your needs. So some of the features include the ability to remove menu items, so those items you might not access often. You can add shortcuts to the items that you do access a lot. And at any stage, you can reset your items back to the original settings. So let's jump in and have a look at the new customizable menu within QuickBooks Online Accountant. So as an extension to the ability to customize the left-hand navigation in QuickBooks Online, you can now do that in QuickBooks Online Accountant. So under your books, this is where you have a QuickBooks Online Plus file for running your own practice. You've now got the ability to customize the left-hand navigation. So when you go to customize your menu under your books, you can select what you would like to see, and if you want to turn any of these particular options off, or maybe you'd like to rearrange them, you can do so. So I'll just remove a few others so that you can see that change. And then under the bookmarks area, this is fundamentally for a shortcut. So we're going to add a business overview to our shortcut, and I'll just save that one. And then if we look over here now, we can see that our menu has been reduced. We can also access those additional items that we removed here, and our shortcut is available there as well. And at any stage, you've got the option to come back and reset the default menu should you wish to. So that's customizing your books in QuickBooks Online Accountant. So that's QuickBooks Online Accountant. Some nice little enhancements there to save you some time and hopefully add some value to the work that you do. So next up is QuickBooks Tax, powered by LodgeiT. And as we mentioned earlier, QuickBooks Tax is a powerful online tax and BAS preparation and lodgement tool. Using QuickBooks Tax, you can prepare any form or return that you need. And what our clients tell us that they love most about QuickBooks Tax is the ability to import data from a variety of accounting systems and the unlimited electronic signatures feature. And I'm guessing also the fact that they can get this incredible tool as a benefit of the QuickBooks Pro Advisor program. So let me pass you over to the founder of LodgeiT, Andrew Noble, to take you through the latest changes. So over to you, Andrew.
welcome from Western Australia, where it's still quite early in the morning. And I'm glad that I'm able to catch up with you today and show you what we're bringing to the LodgeiT platform. We've got some exciting things coming through. And in particular, we've got features that have been waited for by our LodgeiT community for some time. I'm going to cover off on those. And that is our financial reporting. So we've made some significant improvements to our financial reporting. I will say, though, that with our new financial reporting, there is a cost to that. So all the financial reporting capability that we had there before, that remains free. But some of the new features will have a cost. Obviously, we've got to fund for our significant R&D and development efforts. So hopefully you appreciate that. We've also got a Teams feature. So we're introducing a capability for those firms that like to break out their firm into different segments. So maybe partner A, partner B, some managers in there, and you can spread out the client groups amongst those partners or managers. And you can also, if you chose, just break out along the lines of your actual clients rather than the way that I think is appropriate, which would be to use client groups. But I'll certainly show you through that. And one thing I want to say about what I'm going to be demonstrating today is that I'm not going to have my video on all the way through. I'm really going to jump in and focus on some of the applications that I'm talking about. I'm going to talk you through some of those tax changes that are coming through that are going to impact us, and I'm going to do that in a moment. So I'll switch over from this, cover off on the tax changes that are coming through, and then jump over to the demos with the different software applications. Now, one thing I will say is at the end of the software demos, I do have something quite exciting for you, and that's something that we're bringing out of our R&D labs, and that's Tax Genie. So that involves using ChatGPT-4, and it helps with tax legislation. So I'm really excited about sharing this with you today. So let me jump now into those tax changes. We'll go through those, and then we'll go into the software from there. Due to the fact that I don't have a lot of time for this section, I'm just going to rush through these points, and you really need to go off and do your own research to dig into these further. You know that there's a fringe benefit break for green vehicles, hydrogen fuel cell and electrical vehicles, those sort of Tesla type vehicles. Section 101, watch out for your trust distributions, make sure that unpaid present entitlements are cleared out. Professional firms, just watch out for those kind of, arrangements that might be in place to funnel profits through unit trusts instead of going back out to the partners. There's increased activity from the ATO in a number of areas. SGC, super guarantee, wage checking on payroll systems, rental properties, watch out for the rental properties. Go and check work-related before you start putting in work-related expenses for your clients. Go and check the changes that have come through for work-related expenses and work from home particularly. And then there has been an increase in random checks by the ATO on businesses to make sure that they've got proper systems and procedures in place. An opportunity there to put in place proper accounting software. There's the 20% investment break, which I think is a massive opportunity. And a lot of this comes back to cloud computing, right? So any of those cloud computing style subscriptions that your clients might have, there's the 20% break on those. And I'm going to cover that off on the next couple of slides with how that will go through on the tax return. And then just remembering that your future probably doesn't hold well if you're just a processor. So get involved in helping your clients with their businesses. That's something that I think is critical here at this juncture in terms of where we are with technology. So the form changes, these are the changes you're going to notice in the forms. There's an update to the new Small Business Boost, that Small Business Technology Investment Boost, and those are available in ITR, CTR, PTR, and TRT tax returns. and there's a temporary, as you know, there's a temporary bonus of 20. And in the LodgeiT, the fields are located in the depreciation section. So we actually, on my test system, we've already loaded and got those forms all ready to go. So those will certainly be released before 30 June, so that you can be guaranteed that you can have all your new forms to kick off on the 1st of July. But, you know, I don't think it's worth getting straight into doing tax returns on the 1st of July, because a lot of payrolls haven't been closed, and you're just going to have a whole lot of rework if you go and try to do tax returns too early. I know you're going to have clients chasing refunds, right? But I just don't see the point. And, temporary full expensing, that has been removed and will be removed from the 1st of July. So there's no more temporary full expensing. I think it's back to that 30 grand limit for small business entities for writing off depreciable equipment. And then in your ITR, CTR, PTR, TERT, and SMSFR forms, that's all the tax forms, the credit for interest on early payments has been removed. And then for the ITRs, low and middle income tax offset has been removed, and the D4 self-education expense, the $250 exclusion, has been removed. So that's probably something else to go and investigate, make sure you understand that. And then for trust, there's a new type of trust, a CCIV, sub-fund trust. Can't say much about it, I don't know much about it, but if you think it's of interest to yourselves, go and do the research. And then other minor changes and annual updates like we typically put through on the rates and thresholds that you'll already be aware of. So all of that's already in the forms and ready to go, folks. Now I'm going to dive into the software demos. Here we are looking at the new Teams feature. So I'm going to dive into Teams, and you'll notice here that I've archived some of my team members no longer with me. I've got an external collaborator, so we've got someone from Axsource who might come in from time to time to help out. And my settings for the external collaborator look something like this. They've got very little in the way of permissions. They can only see the clients that they have work assigned to them on. So let's just go through the other types, the access types, right? So we've got full access to the org, its data, settings, teams, and billings. This is typically the owner. Typically, you only have one owner, or maybe you've got a partnership, you've got a couple of partners, you can have them both as owners. Then you're going to have your office admin, full access, can see all the public clients and private clients and work they are only assigned to, right, on private clients. And then finally, you got your members, which you'll notice in my case, most of my team members are set as members. Only Annie is set as an admin. So let's go back to our team. We've got myself set as the owner. I've got a team, and Annie's got a team, right? Just so that you can see how the teams function. And then the other team members are all set to either Annie or my team, except for obviously GST, who's an outside collaborator. So this is working really well for those firms that take advantage of outsourcing operations. In our case, we do use Axsource from time to time, mainly for super funds. So here we've got our two teams. Very easy. If you would come and add another team, you could do that. I don't think I need to add a team to show you how this works. And how are we adding people to teams? So let me just come to Holly. And in the case of Holly, we've got Holly as a member. So she's assigned to Team Andrew, but it's easy enough for me to change her assignment. Or she could be in both teams. There's no reason she can't. So I'll take her out of Andrew's team. Now she's in Team Annie, right? And here obviously you can change her access level. So maybe let's make her an admin as well. She's got a few more access permissions, and we save off on that. So now our member Holly is an admin. Maybe I should make this even a step bigger so that it's really evident to you what's going on here. So we've got Holly as part of Annie's team, Andrew's team. GST's not in a team. Now let's jump over to our clients. And often it might be easiest to work at a client level, right? Sorry, at a client group level rather than a client level. So jumping over to the clients, you can see here that what I've done wrong is I've actually said that it's the individual instead of the team. So what I need to do is I need to strip out all these assignees. So the assignee I'm going to try to strip out is going to be Annie, right? So I've got Annie. So all of these are Annie's client groups. I'm going to remove Annie. So I'm going to remove a assignee. So take her out of the 15 groups. And then I'll put back, so the assignee Annie, let's do a batch back. So we should have removed assignee. So remove assignee from those groups. Okay, so I've lost all of those groups. Never mind. Let me do mine as well. So if I've got Andrew, all those groups, I will remove the assignees. So 15 groups removed. Now these ones actually shows Andrew as the team lead. But what I will do is I'll go any. So team Andrew, we don't have any, but we've still got Andrew at an individual level. I'm going to strip those out. So I'm going to remove just myself in an individual level from all those. And there's some more, because obviously that was on another page. I should have set that to 500. So I'm going to remove myself from those 6 groups. And now I think we don't have anyone assigned to any groups. Now I'm just going to do this as part of a demo for you. So let me narrow this down to 5 pages. Let's do that to sort of 30 deep. How many pages have we got? We've got 3 pages. The first page I'm going to give to Andrew's team, right? And then I'm going to go to the next page. So TA, Team Andrew. Next page, let's go up and give these to, we're going to assign to Team Annie. Right, and then I think this is our final group. Oh no, those are all Team Annie. This one's a bit weird here. So we've got Anton in here still showing, oh, it's a test group. But anyway, let me finish this off. We come to the last batch, and I'm going to assign those to Team Andrew. Right, now everyone's assigned in either a team or in a group. Now it might be that we said that Holly's in Team Annie, but let's just say that we also want Holly to work on this group, right? So let's assign a member in their individual capacity here. So let's put Holly in this group as well. Now you can see Holly's in this group as well. And this will then give those people visibility when they come into groups, they will be able to see the groups. And of course, because clients are within groups, the categorization of the teams flows down to that level. So you can see at an individual level who's in what group, right? This all comes into its own. This all comes into its own when you go to your dashboard, your forms dashboard, or any of the other dashboards, and you want to see who's working on what. So at this level, we come in here, we've got all our forms which have already been loaded in for the 2023 year, actually, believe it or not, because you can see here, if I filtered by form individual tax return, oh no, they haven't been loaded in. They haven't. Okay, sorry. I thought I had my 2020, my new ones. I thought that all, oh yeah, they are. Okay, so why didn't I see the individual? Let's go any. So just to show you that those forms are there, individual tax returns, maybe they haven't been loaded. It looks like the companies only have been loaded. Yes, 2023 companies are all in, right? So if you, and this is me on a QA system. So this is a QA system, you're not going to see your forms loaded. But certainly when it comes to those companies, now I can then see by the assignee team, Team Andrew versus Team Annie, and each team has their own set of forms. That filter is going to filter the same way when you work across to reports. So if you had reports in play, actually no, that's a lie. We don't have it yet so that you can filter reports. What about work? Let's go across to a work dashboard and let me see if we've got a filter yet. So great, yep. So if you've got work in progress, you want to know who's working on what, you want to filter it out, Andrew's team versus Annie's team, and you're going to get a separate set of works in progress based on who's assigned to what client group. And of course, you can do the same thing with the clients. You can assign at a client level as well. So now let's go and see what this might mean in terms of if I search for the Doe group. So we've got the Doe group, and in the Doe group, we've got the clients associated with the Doe group. So these are all the clients in the Doe group. And you can see down the side, the team, this client group is associated with the Andrew team, but I guess there's some settings that are in place as a result. So you can see Lisa, who's actually in Annie's team, is also associated with this entity. So let's move Lisa out of this. So we'd have to do that at the individual level, settings, team, and let's take Lisa out of there. Okay. And we'll go back to the team, the client group. Now you can see I've cleaned that up, right? So this is really as much about putting people into the right team and then assigning the team, or doing it at an individual level, an individual team member level. So again, this is a lock to show that this is a private client. And you can see I'm associated with this at an individual level, but it doesn't really make any difference because I'm already in the team Andrew. So me and this team doesn't make any difference. Who else is here? Anton is there. Anton has actually been retired for this example. So I guess I better try to figure out if he has been retired. Probably he should be removed from having access as well, but he wouldn't be able to come into the LodgeIT platform anyway because he has been archived. So again, you've got to fix that client at an individual level and teams. So we saw that this client, Lisa, was in there. Just remove Lisa. And again, you might have Garithri who you want to add into this team. You need to add her into help. So let's add Garithri in, who's an external participant, an outsourced worker from Axsource. I'll add her in. And now Garithri she's been manually assigned. Don't forget, I've only got 2 team members, right? So I've only got myself and Lisa in the team, in my team generally. But in this case, what you're seeing is Garithri, who's been manually assigned to help out, probably just on this particular job, right? Whatever the job's going to be. So you can see here as well that this client has public access rather than private. So you can see if you want private access only owners in the client team have access to the client work. Members without access can't see the client. So we really have a whole set of new capabilities in here with respect to managing and working with teams. And again, to show you where to go, across to teams, right? And this is where you manage your members, give them permissions, and put them into the different teams. And definitely, I think it's always going to be a whole lot easier when you're working with clients to have them in family groups, and then you simply associate the team with the family group like you've just seen me do there, right? So we've now got the ability for you to work with notes in your financial reports. This is a plus module, so this is a paid module, but it still works within the old reporting sections. So let me take you through and show you how this will work. Initially, what I'll do is I'll take you through the template build, and I'm not going to go through this in any great detail because I don't have enough time, but you can certainly, if you want to see the whole example, you go on our LodgeIT YouTube video section and you'll be able to watch the video there. So let me just show you that. So I've jumped across to our LodgeIT YouTube channel, and certainly what you'll notice is that we add videos quite frequently. You can come in here and learn about any of our new capabilities, features, and here's that financial report building. For a lot of you, you've been waiting, which is all of 16 minutes long. So I'm certainly not going to take that much time now. Let me come back here and I'll just simply take you through the template and then demonstrate importing some financial reports using that template. Now notice that you've got the predefined templates. You don't have to build templates. You can use ours and we'll continue to add more templates for you. But certainly here I've already gone and created, you simply create a custom template, but I've already done that. And what I'll do is I'll open up that template that I created and just show you some of the things that I've been able to do in there. Starting in the comprehensive income section, noting that throughout the reports, you're now able to add in more periods. So you've got the ability to add in something like up to 12 periods. You can add in notes, spaces, formulas, more line items, groups, headers. So very flexible capabilities on the template. And here I have unbundled all the items that sit in other revenue, because LodgeIT does have a lot of categories, and those categories help with classification. So for instance, we've got something like government grants under other revenue. But rather than cluttering this with lots of categories, lots of subcategories, we just have the one category called other revenue. It keeps everything a little bit simpler and easier to follow without too many headings. And what I've done in here is I've created this whole new section called gains and losses. I've rolled it up and then I've associated it with a note. And that's essentially the note at the end. So that's note number 13. And here you'll see that those items that I associated that note. So these items, these categories that would pick up whatever was in there from whatever you imported from QuickBooks, Xero, MyOB, or whatever. Let me just go back up here and I'll show you. I have dragged these in from either revenue or expenses. And that's typically what you'd find in a regular accounting system. You wouldn't find a section for gains and losses. You would find revenue and expense sectors, whether those are trading revenue, other revenue, direct costs, indirect costs, that sort of thing, or other expenses. But you typically wouldn't find something that's a combination of gains and losses. So what I've done is I've dragged these categories out of indirect costs and other revenues. So I dragged out the capital gains, the capital loss sectors. So capital gains dragged out of revenue, capital losses dragged out of expenses. Brought them all together under gains and losses, and I'll show you the output in a moment. But essentially what I then had to do was put in a formula, because if you think about all those line items, if you had revenue item, if you had capital gains in revenues and you had capital losses and expenses, and you brought them all into one section and they were all positive values, what you would then have to do is you would then have to say, well, some of these are minus and some of these are plus. You just couldn't rely on the flat report values. And that's essentially what I've done. I've added a formula, and the formula will calculate the correct gains and losses. So you'll see how that works in a moment. Now, as you saw, that takes you to the note, and we have got notes for other things here as well. So we've put in notes for, whether it's financial liabilities, payables, provisions, and then right at the end, what I've done is I've dropped in a different kind of note here, which is more like a text note, to show you the noting capabilities where if you've got subsectors of your notes, or you should say subheadings. So your headings and subheadings, it's quite possible to do drag and drop for the headings And when you do the drag and drop of the headings, the numbers will reset themselves so that you have a consistency with the numbering. And that would be useful if you were building something like a company constitution. But certainly we will have that capability going forward. You'll be able to build any kind of template for any kind of report, even something like a company constitution or a trust deed, definitely minutes, that sort of thing. That's coming in the next phase of the release. We will also have a release of the ability to import other documents, Word, Excel, and then embed those into the financial reports. So now that I've showed you through the template, let me go back up to, I'll go back up to that. So let's just go back out of the templates and search for the client number 2, which is where I will show you the import. So this case is going to be demonstrated with Excel, simply because it was easy for me to put in a little example together in the Excel sheets, our Excel template. We get ourselves a profit and loss and a balance sheet. I've got a whole lot of things in there of interest that would work nicely to demonstrate the reports. I go to my custom report and I add using Andrew's template for the 22 financial year. And what do we have? So let's have a look at that section there where I said that I broke out the gains and losses. Probably what I should have done is put some more spaces in here. I should have put some more spaces between these. It's not that neat, but it's possible to put the line items and the spaces in. What I did do here was I did link this in with a note, or I should have. So let's just link that into gains and losses. The balance sheet items should have linked in. So now let's see what that does. That takes us down there. And based on my formula, you can see. So we had a decreasing revaluation adjustment. Now it is positive relative to the words. That's correct. It's decreasing. We had a capital gain and we had a capital loss. Now both of those are positive relative to the names. And if you add them all together, you've got the decreasing, which is negative, and therefore overall it's got a brackets on it. So you can see that it is overall a loss. I've also got the contingent liabilities in here, but I didn't have any info in there, so the contents will be hidden when you finally generate the export. So let's download and see what we get there. So it takes a couple of seconds. Of course, you can change the name on that. You've got all your typical sectors, comprehensive income, cost of goods. And here you can see my gains and losses and the way the note has come. So in the PDF, it takes you there as well. And it's a nice feature that the way the note works is it'll drag you to the correct sector. So let's go up to our statement of financial position. And again, you can see this is a whole lot more simple and uncluttered than our previous report types, but certainly these will drag you through to the correct sectors. So if we had something like intangibles, we go through to intangibles, you can put in the text blocks, and if there is any value in there, like here, there's just the goodwill, then you've got a value for your intangibles. So in terms of how this is actually going to be deployed, there is a cost if you want to use our noting capability. It won't be free. There's a lot of, as I mentioned, a lot of investment put into this. So if you want to buy that feature, you go to our billing and you've got the ability, you could see here, if you're not a QBOA, a QBOA subscriber, you will need to buy e-signs for the financial reports. If you, regardless of whether you're a QBOA subscriber or not, and you want to buy the types of financial reports that I just showed you, then Then you've got to take up the report offer, right? So how we've done it is you can either take up on a bundle. So you could buy the bundles, and here are the prices there for your bundles. Let me just make that a bit bigger. So you've got your pricing on your bundles, or you could just come in and buy on a per lodgement basis. Actually, that's not actually working at the moment, but certainly you can come in here and you can buy on a per lodgement basis, and probably the cheapest you're going to get it at is going to be at that level. Actually, that is working, but how it works is you've got to say what your base level is. So if you say your base level is there, and then you can buy extras on that level. But of course, if you've got 100 reports you're going to need, then you could top up, right? So you're topping up, but obviously every next one at that price.
So thanks for the update, Andrew. Sorry, we've had to cut a little short. We're running out of time. So as you can see, there's a lot going on across the QuickBooks suite, and that does provide a nice little segue to how you can stay up to date with the latest product information. So by heading to the website, you can select accountants and bookkeepers, and then product updates to see what is new. And I often put an annoying little card into QuickBooks Online Accountant to let you know that there's some product updates, because we don't want you missing out on anything or have your clients coming in knowing more than you. I also wanted to very quickly highlight that we're heading towards the pointy end of the year. So we've just launched our end of financial year hub to help you get through the busy period with as little stress as possible. At the hub, you'll be able to see a range of guides. You'll be able to look at the year-end checklists, how to do payroll finalizations, training, and more. So if you'd like to learn more, head to intuit.me/EOFY hub. And you can see more. Now, unfortunately, we have run out of time. So for those of you that have asked questions, we will reach out to you individually to answer those questions. But for now, let me thank our fabulous presenters today, Jack, Simon, and Andrew. Your time is very much appreciated. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes who made today's event happen. And finally, thanks to all of you for attending. I do hope you saw some new functionality that you're keen to explore. Look out for the follow-up email that includes a link to the recording to review or to share with your team. But until next time, bye for now. Thank you.